What's up everyone, Trent here from Fortress. My god, the new Avengers Infinity War trailer has dropped and it's amazing. It's taken me forever to comprehend the awesomeness that I've seen, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this trailer breakdown and talk about all the key moments and possible Easter eggs and possible spoilers for the movie coming out. Once again, it's all speculation, so if you don't want to know what you think might happen, just look away now. But anyway, please like and subscribe if you like what you see, and engage with the comments below if you disagree or agree with anything that I've said. Welcome to the Fortress. Now the trailer starts with what looks to be the New York City skyline. We know that Thanos does attack this with his ship, and that appears to be coming through the clouds as we speak. It's very Doctor Strange-esque, this first scene. And in this scene we get a really ominous voiceover from Gamora, which we later see in the trailer as well, talking about how Thanos has this dream to balance the universe. It's really ominous, but it's almost like he believes that he's really doing what he's meant to be doing. What he's doing is right. And here we get a shot of Bruce Banner, War Machine, and Black Widow. This is the first time that Widow and Hulk have seen each other since Hulk disappeared at the end of Age of Ultron. We all know that he's been off gallivanting in Ragnarok on the planet Sakaar, but this is the first time, and given the circumstances, we know that Bruce lands in the Sanctum Sanctorum, but Natasha's with Steve, so this appears to be in Wakanda, and what looks to be Shuri's lab, which we'll see more of later. And there's a really nice view of the Sanctum Sanctorum, which is in Greenwich Village. Now we see later in the trailer that Thanos actually gets the Space Stone in the presence of Thor, which if you've seen Ragnarok, Thanos' spaceship intercepts the Asgardians as they're leaving Asgard. Now this is a really interesting scene. It's a homage to George Perez's Infinity Gauntlet storyline, where Thanos snaps his fingers and literally half of the Marvel Universe disappears in an instant because of the Reality Stone. Now this is clear trailer manipulation. Gamora's in a spaceship, Tony appears to be in the Sanctum Sanctorum. It would seem likely that Tony's asking, tell me his name again, to Bruce, because we know he crashed in the Sanctum, and he would likely have had a run-in with Thanos, you know, because he's on the Asgardian ship. So he was likely the Hulk at the time, which is why he's probably converted back to Bruce Banner in the former trailer. And here we get a very first look at Thanos in his golden armor. We've seen the armor in previous movies, but we haven't seen it in any of the trailers or promotional material. So this leads me to believe that this would probably be a flashback, and more so as we've seen other flashbacks in this trailer that occur later on down the line. And here we have Spidey swinging into action. We know that Spidey is one of the first on call as Thanos' ship attacks New York. And how good is this? We finally see Tony's new armor in action. We've seen that it has some repulsor blast coming out of the hands, but it looks like it's actually able to transform its shape, which kind of reminds me of the Bleeding Edge armor and his more recent armor in the Invincible Iron Man series before he handed the mantle over to Riri. It was kind of able to manipulate itself into different weapons and shapes depending on what Tony was thinking. And it would appear that he's chasing after the ship. And we've seen in previous trailers that Spidey's on this ship, so that might lead to how events in this trailer occur later on. There we see the Time Stone still attached to Doctor Strange's neck. LEGO set's given the hint that the Sanctum Sanctorum actually gets attacked, and it's by what's known as the Cull Obsidian, formerly known as the Black Dwarf. And here we see Scarlet Witch and Vision. Now the interesting thing about this is Vision is at the Avengers compound, which is just outside of New York. But here they're in forest area, which in a couple of frames time we'll see is most likely Wakanda. And there we go, we've got Cap, Black Widow, and the other Avengers. Scarlet Witch is there as well, and Vision in the background meeting T'Challa and seeking refuge in Wakanda. Presumably for this next scene, which is interesting because it looks like Shuri is doing work on Vision to try and remove the Mind Stone without possibly killing him. Now we know that in the MCU, Shuri is one of the brightest characters, one of the smartest. She has been said to be smarter than Bruce Banner and Tony Stark, so having the access to the vibranium technology as well is most likely a good thing, and she may succeed in getting rid of the Mind Stone from Vision. And here we get a good look at the Guardians. Now I have a theory about this. We know that Thor goes on a journey to try and make a new hammer, which we now know as Stormbreaker, which was formerly known as Beta Ray Bill's hammer in the comics. We haven't seen Beta Ray Bill yet, although there was a slight homage in Thor Ragnarok. Now, there are two likely places for this to happen. The first is via a leaked footage where we see Thanos interacting with the Collector and actually kind of kicking the Collector's butt. Now, being the Collector, he would likely have access to a whole lot of relics and a whole lot of weapons and machines that could easily create a new hammer. And we know that Thor needs to use these things to build this hammer. So there could be something in the Collector's Museum after Thanos has decimated it that they use. Or another likely prospect is that when the Guardians run into Thor, when he smacks into the ship, they could go to Nidavellir, which is the home of the dwarf blacksmiths, where Mjolnir was created. And this could be where they bump into the Space Forge and create the new hammer, as we'll see what looks to be happening later on in the trailer. And we get our first meeting of the Guardians and Iron Man, with Star-Lord, trying to show that he's better than everyone else, and Drax not having a bar of it. And here we see the Outrider invasion of Wakanda. You can see in the background, you have the Outrider ships, the giant pillars that look like they're sticking out of the ground, and the new Avengers, or the Secret Avengers now, going to war with the rest of the Wakandans. And that look at Black Widow, it gives a sense of dread, a sense of ominousity. And the next scene, we get the Hulkbuster. There's been speculation as to who's actually in the Hulkbuster. I still believe it's Banner, because Banner doesn't want to convert into the Hulk. He's worried about staying as the Hulk again. So it would be likely that Tony's given him the armor and developed it, so he's got the power and strength of the Hulk, but ultimately it's Bruce inside, because he doesn't want to stay as the Hulk permanently, and it's a whole arc that they're going to be going through with Bruce Banner through this movie. The Russos have said it themselves. We see Thor in what looks to be that same dark chamber, wearing a red cape this time.
No capes!
Now this is interesting. This looks like it could be where Thor is creating his new hammer. What looks weird though is he's thrusting his fist into the air and it looks like he's clenching something, but he's not actually clenching anything at all. So has it been digitally removed? The other thing that's interesting is that the toys have hinted that there's a part of Groot that's going to be used to make the stem of the hammer. So it would seem likely that this is where that's being made. It's a good shot though. In this shot we see that circular spaceship crashing into a planet with other machines around it. This is what looks to be the planet Titan. We know that Avengers Infinity War takes place in space at some point, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is where the final battle scene ended up and that the Wakandan scene actually isn't the final scene. And in this scene we get to see some of the origin of Gamora. We know that Thanos razed her planet to the ground and pretty much adopted her as his child. We've heard her referred to as one of the children of Thanos in the other movies. And we get to see what looks to be quite a poignant moment, and that Thanos actually may have a little bit of compassion to him. And this appears to be taken directly after Thor Ragnarok, straight after the spaceship intersects the Asgardians. We get our first good look at the Black Order, Corvus Glaive, Proxima Midnight, Ebony Maw, and the Cull Obsidian, formerly known as the Black Dwarf. And we see Thanos holding the Tesseract, and Loki in the middle of all of them, kind of looking like, oh, what have I done? And the Black Order don't look to be too pleased with Loki either, so maybe they know of his former failures with the Space Stone and the Mind Stone. And here we get a cool scene of everyone suiting up. We get a good look at Captain's new uniform, the Captain Without a Country as he's now known. It looks different to his other Captain America uniform, so I wouldn't be surprised if T'Challa had laced it with vibranium, to make him a little bit stronger and enhanced. And we can see the Wakandan technology having a force field. We now know that the force fields occur because of the vibranium, as we've seen in Black Panther. So once again, I wouldn't be surprised if Cap's shield had some of that technology as well, instead of just covering his forearm. And we get a cool scene here of Doctor Strange and Star-Lord working together, with Strange building platforms for Peter to jump on. Now this scene's taken directly from the comics, directly from New Avengers 9, where we see the Ebony Maw torturing Doctor Strange and using his powers of persuasion and manipulation to get him to spill the secrets on the location of the Infinity Gems. And we get our first good look at the Ebony Maw up close. Kind of looks like Voldemort. Oh no, the Hulkbuster! The Hulkbuster's being taken down by the Outrider army. Boy, this has the potential to be one of the best scenes in the movie. If Banner's in that thing, we just know that Hulk is going to burst out and rip them all to shreds and turn the tides of the battle. We've seen in the previous trailer that Hulk is in Wakanda, so this might be the scene where it happens. And a toy that's been released recently has promotional images where it shows Hulk bursting out of the Hulkbuster armor. So, God, I hope this happens. It has the potential to just absolutely make this movie amazing visually. And this scene begs to question who Thanos is talking to. It could be a piece of clever editing, but given that Tony's armor looks really mangled and it appears to be on Titan again, we may be seeing the demise of Tony Stark. Everyone said that Tony is the heart and soul of the team, so it's only natural for the heart and soul to meet his demise at the hands of Thanos. But then we're instantly given the money shot. Thanos versus Steve Rogers, wielding two of the Infinity Stones and Steve holding his own by holding the Infinity Gauntlet. Once again, we could have some clever editing here. There may be no Infinity Gems. There may be more Infinity Gems. Cap may have an Infinity Gem. Now, I have a theory that Cap may be even being powered by the Soul Gem, because, you know, he's got spirit, he's got charisma, he fights for a cause. This would tie quite well into the theory that the Vibranium Mound actually contains the Soul Gem, which is what gave the Vibranium its powers and the heart-shaped herb its power. If Cap is laced with Vibranium, it's even more likely that that's upping his power level. And I can just see this being a really, really key part of the movie. I don't think he'll meet his demise. I wouldn't be surprised if someone came in and saved the day at the last minute, but I also wouldn't be surprised if there was other powers at work here. But God, Steve's face. Now, this trailer really gave a sense of urgency and a sense of frantic energy. We see the heroes utterly defeated in almost every scene. They are losing. Whereas the first trailer, it showed the raw emotion of the team coming together. They felt desperate, but this actually showed it happening. But all's not bad, because we get some fun dialogue between Spidey and Doctor Strange at the end, and a really awesome action sequence. So that's it from us. If I've missed anything, please let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe and share around. That's the trailer breakdown. There is a lot going on in this trailer, and my goodness, does it get you excited for April. I cannot wait, just over a month to go. And remember, as always, you're watching Fortress of the Nerds.